all right. Are we live? We good? All right, here we go. Let's go ahead and get started. All right, good to go. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Heat Check Live Beat Review Show right here on YouTube. I'm your host, Desmond A., and we're here to have a good time. Let me go ahead and get this little ticker going at the top. There we go. I'm your host, Desmond A. We're here to have a good time. So, ladies and gentlemen, first of all, I want to say thank you so much to attorney Daniel Cruz Hernandez for the last episode of the Made in the Studio podcast. Man, he dropped a lot of gems for producers when it comes to publishing, when it comes to masters, when it comes to AI, when it comes to just dealing with different things in the industry. Man, there's a lot of misinformation out there on the internet. You know, it's a lot of people exploiting the fact that the music business, the jargon is so confusing and complex. And I'm very grateful that we had somebody like Daniel Cruz Hernandez from Producer Royalty to give us time, share those gems, and I'm very grateful and happy for that. It looks like you guys are enjoying the episode as well. So you guys make sure you take some notes, make sure you get that game, and make sure you apply that in your music production career. Also, we're having another Made in the Studio podcast episode coming up this upcoming Thursday. So be on the lookout for that. I have a producer, musician, man, very talented guy. He does a lot of stuff for like Kodak Black and artists like that. Plays the keys. I believe he plays the guitar and everything. His philosophy around music is very, very interesting, very engaging, and very deep. He has a very deep close relationship with music. It's really something that is his entire life, man, and it's something that, it's hard to find people with that level of passion when it comes to music and music production. So you guys are really going to enjoy that episode as well. So look out for that one this upcoming Thursday at 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Y'all going to enjoy that. All right, so we are here for the Heat Check Live Beat Review Show. Guys, I want to thank you for all your submissions this week. And if this is your first time here, you might be wondering, what is this Heat Check? Who's this guy? What exactly are we doing right here tonight? Well, my name is Desmond A. I'm a producer, been doing music for over 12 years now. I have music on different networks like Sci-Fi Channel, Discovery, Tubi, worked with multiple recording artists out here in Atlanta, recorded people, mix some stuff, produce some songs, sold beats online, create content, have a podcast. So I do a little bit of everything. So that gives me perspective, gives me kind of a unique perspective so I can kind of give you guys value from all angles. So if you enjoy that, make sure you rock out with the Heat Check. Also here at the Heat Check, we have some ground rules. Here at the Heat Check, there's no snapping, no roasting, no tearing down a producer for how their sound is. No one popped in the music game being at the level of Metro. We have to try, fail, get better and better each step. So no snapping or roasting, but we're going to give it to you straight. But we're going to give you real actionable steps, kind of like a dojo. You guys ever been to a boxing gym, dojo, karate school, anything like that? Does your coach say, no, that was a whack jab, and just look at you? Nah, that's not what they do. They say when you throw your jab, twist your hip a little bit, close the distance a little bit. That's how you're going to measure the distance between you and the opponent. They give you real step-by-step game, and that's what we're going to do here at the Heat Check. So if you rock out with that, make sure you keep staying in tune with the show. Also, free submissions open as soon as the live stream is over. That's when the free form opens, so you guys can submit your beats to the show. And the free submissions close at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. From that point forward, we only accept the VIP Skip the Line. You can find the VIP Skip the Line up in the ticker, pinned in the chat, and also pinned in the description of this live stream. You go there, pay your $10, and you skip the line so you can get your music played. And another benefit of the VIP Skip the Line is you get your entire beat played. Free submissions get about a minute and a half. VIP Skip the Line gets the entire thing played. So we definitely have VIP Skip the Lines very frequently. So, go ahead and do that. Invest in the broadcast, invest in the show, and invest in yourself most importantly. So, yeah, that's about it. And guys, don't forget to go to DesmondASounds.com for your free loops, free FL Studio patcher plugins free guides, everything you need to level up your music production. But you guys are here for the live beat reviews. So let's go ahead and get right into it. All right, all right. Let me go ahead and move the channel rack out the way. Oh, also, guys, I want to say thank you guys for checking out my tutorials, my videos on demand on my channel. You guys are really rocking out with that. I'm getting a lot of likes, a lot of engagement. Guys, if you need more help on your music production, you can also book a one-on-one coaching call with me. You can find that pinned in the description and in the chat as well. But that's it. Let's go ahead and get right into the music. So starting first, we have Chef P with Guide Me. All right, I'm going to go ahead and play this beat, mute my mic, and give my feedback. So let's take a listen. Sorry about that, Chef P. Actually ain't hit the space bars. Let me play it from the top again. All right, all right, all right. Ladies and gentlemen, that was Chef P with Guide Me. Shout out to you, Chef P, and thank you so much for submitting right here on the Heat Check. Now, Chef P, that beat, definitely a good beat. Definitely good beat. I really like the mix on that beat. It sounded really good. One of the first things I noticed was the intro was a little bit long. We kind of want to get into getting close to the drop. You might want to shave off like 4 bars so we can get into the drop a little quicker. This, I wanted to say initially I started to get like sync vibes, like sync placements, like you can get this synced on like a TV show or something like that. But the more I listen to it, I'm thinking of an actual song itself. So just creating a song itself, then maybe the song could get synced, not just an instrumental to sync for a TV show itself. So one of the things I'm thinking is that this beat it really needs a songwriter to actually create a song to it. So that can really actually sell the song itself. As I was listening to the beat, it felt like we were kind of, I heard the melody as we were going towards the end of the beat. I'm kind of wondering what structure you're going for, because it's starting to feel like after we got out of the main beat, things started to get a little more free flow, a little more experimental, just something to kind of dance to. But if you're looking to get this more so in an actual song itself, then we want to structure it with the verse, the hook, verse, hook, everything like that, basic structure, and not do too much. Less is more when it comes to music production. Um, let's see here. Yeah. So at this point, Chef P, I would figure out if you do want to make this an actual song, structure it that way, and really just hop on Instagram, look for songwriters. There's always songwriters. Sometimes songwriters are commenting on other songwriters' stuff. You don't always have to look for one of the top songwriters. Just look for people who have a writing style that will actually fit your music, and then you two join forces. And then you can consistently collaborate, and then you'll have like a nice body of work. So then, like they say, if you stay ready, you don't have to get ready. So you already have that catalog of music. So who knows? Maybe you hit some type of music event, some type of music spot where you live. Maybe you just out with people and you let it be known that you're a producer, and just things happen that way. So, just have that on deck so you're not like scrambling and scraping and trying to figure out, okay, now I need to make this. You know what I mean? So if you could do that, that'll definitely help you out. So shout out to you, Chef P. Shout out to you. Thank you so much for submitting on the heat check. I appreciate that, Quasi. Shout out to you, Quasi, in the chat. All right, all right, all right. Moving forward, we have another submission from Chef P. This one is called Tomb Breaker. All right, I'm going to go ahead and play this beat, mute my mic, and then give my feedback. So let's go ahead and take a listen. Ladies and gentlemen, that was Chef P's second submission right here on the heat check. That one was called Tomb Breaker. All right. Shout out to you, Chef P, and thank you so much for submitting right here on the heat check. Now, Chef P, that beat, I'm getting like almost like movie score kind of vibes. That really didn't feel like it was in the realm for an actual song. I'm getting like real like vibey music from you. It's not like, okay, I want to just make a song. This is like, I get the feeling like you're experimenting with sounds. You're doing stuff. You just want to free flow with your creativity, which is definitely cool. So once again, I could really just hear that some type of game, movie soundtrack, maybe like an indie film or something. If you have a friend or somebody like that who does that. One thing I was hearing with this beat, and I'm noticing when I how do I put this? I tend to notice this kind of frequently when I'm hearing like EDM type of beats or beats with a lot of synths. So this beat felt loud and small at the same time. So what do I mean by that? So the volume of it was loud, but the impact of it didn't have much power behind it. Now, what's going to happen, and the main reason I call this out, because I've seen this in studios before, and that's that your beat is very loud and it's lacking power. So if we play this beat on the real big studio speakers and studios, I'm sure you've been to them, Chef P, you'll really notice, and that exposes power differences in beats. So we'll play this beat and then maybe another beat by another producer, and then you'll just notice, like, man, my beat was so loud when I heard it in my room, and in my headphones it felt loud, but now that I'm playing it on the speakers, the big speakers, things just feel small for some reason. I'm not quite sure why. um and the reason for that is, once again, we're having a lot of loudness. So let me see one of the best ways to correct this. Because you have so many epic sounds going on in it, I want people to actually experience what you're trying to convey creatively. So it's like what's the best way to say this? Um it's kind of like it's kind of like really good food, but maybe you just washed your mouth out with Listerine or something like that, and we can't really experience what we're trying to experience. So it's like something is coloring the taste. We have this nice dish in front of us, we're trying to consume it, but something is interfering with what we're supposed to actually experience. Our palate is being interfered with something else, and in this case it's the shrinking of the sound. It's the things being loud and small at the same time. So in this case I would do a couple things. One, try to start with like volume balancing your sound in the mixer. Let me make sure you can see my mixer. Okay, so you can see my mixer. Okay, so right here in my mixer, I would really want you to volume balance your sounds, and then crank up your whatever main volume knob you have. So crank it up here, crank it, excuse me, up top in FL Studio, or crank it up in the master here before you apply any type of limiting. So what we want to do is, once you have all your sounds balanced here in FL Studio or in your mixer or your DAW, crank it loud. Make sure you can still feel the power of all those drums, the power of all the synths. If things are in the way, we're going to go into the EQ and then just do gentle dips. So we're going to do gentle dips in the EQ just to make sure that there's space for everything. So we're almost like we're not quite mixing yet, but we kind of are, because we're making sure that all our frequencies are sitting in the right place. Like maybe one of the synths is just eating up a lot of the low mids, and that's going to make your drums not sound as loud. So you have to do like a little dip. Maybe one of your synths has a whole lot of resonant frequencies and it's taking up a lot of space. Then you just do a little dip just to open up more space. So we want to get things sounding as good as possible before we actually crank it loud. So you have everything balanced in your mixer, everything is good. You use your EQ, everything's sounding good, right? Then from there, after you get everything nice and balanced and all the EQs balanced, then you want to come in with your limiter or whatever you're using. You're probably using a limiter, possibly. One of my favorite limiters so far these days is the L4 Ultra Maximizer by Waves. So you might possibly have this. This is a really good limiter. So after you get everything balanced, you can come in your limiter, set the ceiling. I like to do negative 0.3 and then pull it down. And then you want to make sure that you're still maintaining that power, the body of the drums, the power of the synths. You're not losing anything. You're just enhancing all that goodness, all the frequencies, and now it's just more. So we don't want the limiter to smash the dynamics and take away any of the soul and life of what you're doing. We're just simply using a limiter to just enhance what's there, make sure that everything is just more, and it's going to add a little more glue. And I know there's a lot going on frequency wise in these type of beats, but That's the best advice I can give so far because I want this thing to feel as big as I can tell that you want it to be. Whoa. All right, so shout out to you, Chef P. Thank you so much for submitting right here on the Heat Check. All right, all right, all right. All right. So, moving forward, we have JXHN Pirates Cove. All right. We're going to listen to JXHN Pirates Cove. I'm going to go ahead and mute my mic, play this beat, and give my feedback. So let's take a listen.
Feast your eyes, Captain. All of them faithful hands before the mast. Every man worth his salt.
You, Sailor, do you have the courage and fortitude to follow orders and stay true in the face of danger and almost certain death?
Mostly we figure that means yes.
Of course it does. Answer, man.
Ladies and gentlemen, that was JXHN with Pirates Cove. I believe that's probably John with Pirates Cove. Shout out to you, man. Thank you so much for submitting right here on the Heat Check. Now, John, man, definitely a great beat. To me, this beat, it's a fire beat. Great drums, great sample. You're definitely killing it. You know you're killing this beat. I don't even have to tell you that. The thing is, it kind of feels like more of a beat battle beat. It sounds like you're trying to win a competition, which is definitely dope. You know, it's good to sharpen your skills. It's almost like rappers doing little freestyle battles and, you know, doing it with their friends and whatnot. You know, it's good to like keep yourself sharp as a producer to do a battle every now and then. You know, I did a battle on stage. This was years ago. You know, doing it in person is definitely, you got to get up there and do all the you gotta do all the little hand tricks and things like that. Definitely a fun experience if you're able to get in person and do one. It's also a great networking opportunity. So, you know, John, if you're out there, definitely pull up to one of those if you have them in your city. Other than that, yeah, just it's in a beat battle format. If we wanted it to go to an artist, I like when you started to put that low pass filter on the sample. That's definitely going to open up space for an artist. So you would just maybe keep this beat, but do another version of this beat where it's more so structured for a recording artist. A recording artist could rap to this, but it'll be more of a like a straightforward freestyle. You know, somebody just snapping, like maybe somebody like Vado or, you know, somebody like that just going crazy on the beat, but there's no real song structure, which could work, but I would also in your back pocket have a more artist-friendly version where it's more intro, verse, hook, intro, verse, hook, outro, you know, however you want to do it. And just, you know, keep in mind, rap to yourself a little bit, make like a little fake hook to yourself out loud in the studio. Be like, okay, do I have enough space? Okay, that's perfect. You know, so you'll be good to go. But yeah, I'm hearing like an artist on the East Coast really rapping to a beat like this. So, John, if you're out there, you know, definitely reach out to different artists on Instagram. TikTok. You know, a lot of us want to hit the big artists, but the big artists don't just come into the game as the big artists. Sometimes we hit the indie artists with some momentum, who are out there performing. You never know what they're going to become in a couple years. So let's invest in the next generation of artists, and not always go for the top people, because the top people weren't always the top people. So, go ahead and search around and see who you can find, John. But I am leaning more so towards an East Coast artist. And for more tips, networking on Instagram and getting your beats out there on Instagram, check out the link in my description of this video. I have a free Instagram beat selling guide. So go ahead and download that. Check out, get all that free game, and use it to network with artists. This is something I've done. I've sold beats using that method, and I put that free game into a free guide for you guys. So make sure you check that out. But shout out to you, John. Thank you so much for submitting right here on the Heat Check. All right, looks like John, we have a second submission from John here today. This one's called Overflown. So I'm going to go ahead and play this beat, mute my mic, and give my feedback. So let's go ahead and take a listen. Ladies and gentlemen, that was John's second submission of the night with Overflown. Thank you so much for your submission, and thank you. Please continue to submit right here on the Heat Check. Now, John, definitely another fire beat, man. You definitely know what to do when it comes to cooking up that heat, cooking up those bangers, that energy that people really want to just gravitate towards. I definitely don't think you'll have a hard time, selling beats or, finding an artist to work with. One thing that I'm noticing is just I'm getting more like freestyle kind of vibes from the beats. Like I could just see myself in the studio hitting play, and then an artist just like standing up and just snapping and just going crazy, but not really structuring an entire song. I think this is just my personal experience. I could see more so the engineer working to structure the song with the artist. That's not necessarily a bad thing. Engineers do that every day, but it's just so much free flow and energy. Someone's going to have to get there and kind of dial things back as far as, certain points, so we can have a build up to a hook and things be a little more structured to the mainstream ear. This is like, crazy freestyle by, Benny the Butcher or something. We're like, oh dang, let me check that out. So fans would definitely like it, but if someone wants to hit that mainstream audience, then I think the engineer's gonna have to do some tweaking and structuring for that. But yeah, definitely fire beats, man. Keep cooking up. One thing I just wanted to point out is, John, just kind of watch the high end of your beats, because whenever there's like a lot of resonant frequencies in the high end, it can start to fatigue the ear a little bit quicker. So what I want you to do is like listen to your beat and then download, I believe Metro Boomin has some instrumental stuff out there. Hit Boy has some instrumental stuff, projects out there. I believe you can get it on iTunes and things like that. And just, you got everything else down packed. Just listen to the high end and how smooth the high end is on the ear. So just listen to that, then listen to yours. Of course, these industry guys are getting their stuff mixed by like Baines and Ken Lewis and all these guys. So you don't need to do a one-to-one comparison, obviously, but just kind of take little tips, little pieces like, okay, I'm noticing that it's a little smoother here. So maybe next time I have a loop that's a little, has a little sharp on the high end, I'm just going to do a little dip. So around 3K, 4K. So it's not like, doesn't fatigue the ear a little too much. So just little things like that. We're all learning every day. Music production is a journey. So that's just a little thing there, a little tip there that you can use in your music production journey. But shout out to you, John. Thank you so much for submitting right here on the Heat Check. All right. Okay, we got John in the building. Let's see here. Appreciate it. I've been cooking nice this week, so I'm going to send it after the stream ends. Cooking nice, so I'm gonna send it after the stream ends. All right, shout out to you, John. Thank you so much. John is on it. He's already ready for next week's show. What's going on, man? Y'all be waiting till the last minute. John is like, I'm ready to go. Shout out to you, John. All right. Moving forward, we have Icy. Icy, where you been, man? You been cooking up? All right, Icy. One of the things I've been on you about is hitting the master hard, so I'm already seeing the peaks chopped off. So let's see. I'm not gonna listen with my eyes. I'm gonna listen with my ears. So, ladies and gentlemen, we have Icy with Boom. So shout out to you, Icy. Let's go ahead and listen to this beat. I'm gonna go ahead and mute my mic and then give my feedback. So let's take a listen. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, that was Icy with Boom. Thank you so much for submitting your beat, Icy, and thank you so much for providing this for the Heat Check. Now, Icy, couple things here. Icy, you have the sound that I've noticed some of the next generation is into, right? So we have a couple studios out here in Atlanta, and I just noticed that some of the songs that are coming out of certain studios kind of have this type of vibe, they like this type of instrumental. But like I said before, Icy, you're great at composing beats. Your drum bounce is fire. I noticed how you were manipulating your synths. Is really, really creative, man. But how many times I got to tell you about this, Icy, man? The headroom, bro. The headroom is snapped off. Let's look at the waveform. Okay, the waveform doesn't look too bad. It doesn't look too bad. Okay, okay. I'll give you that, Icy. Because one time you came here, that your waveform looked like that. Tell me I'm lying. Tell me I'm lying, Icy. It looked like that. So yeah, yeah. I think you're working on. You're trying to get better with the loudness, right? Um, but let's work on it a little more. You know, I said this before. I said this many times. Whenever producers or engineers get your beat, all DAWs have the clip gain, so we can make things louder, make things quieter. If somebody's an engineer, they look at you, literally look at your beat as soon as they drag and drop it in before the artist raps to it, then they're gonna know whether or not they need to make it louder or quieter. So I see. Let's work on not crushing your beat so hard into the master. I will say you've gotten slightly better. You've gotten better. I remember at times it was so bad I couldn't hear things. So let's just ease back. Icy, you got the production down. Ease back on the master, man. Ease. I don't know if it's just your master or all your sounds are just banging up here in the mixer. Ease back, man. Ease back. You got the production down. We just need to get the mix right. Ease back, because the thing is, uh, if an artist wants to rap to a beat like this in the studio, it's gonna sound once again small. It's like it has power. It's like you're trying to reach power, but it's small. But your thing is hitting the master so hard. Let's have some headroom. Let's let your master fader, master bus, let the green move over here. Just let it move. You'll be fine, Icy. And also watch the highs with all the synths that you got going on. It's a lot of resonant frequencies. I know that's the sound, that's the style that some of the younger producers are doing these days, but it doesn't hurt to ease back, especially around the 3K mark, the 4K mark here, with those synth sounds. It's a lot of resonant frequencies live around there that are pretty harsh on the ear. So let's watch that, Icy. Let's just get the mix a little better, and you'll be good to go. You got the drums, you got the synths, man. You got that next generation sound. You got it. You got that down. But, let's just go ahead and tighten the rest up, man. But you're getting there, Icy. Shout out to you, man. Shout out to you. Thank you so much for submitting on the heat check. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, moving forward, we have Trep World with freestyle type beat. Just graduated, ho. All right. Shout out to you, Trep World. All right, I'm going to go ahead and play this beat, mute my mic, and give my feedbacks. Let's go ahead and take a listen. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, that was Trep World with Just Graduated, ho. Thank you so much for your submission this week, Trep World. Appreciate your submission. Now, Trep World, a couple things going on here. One, first, I want to compliment you. I noticed that your bass was in key, and I believe on our past few shows the bass was not in key. So I want to compliment you on that, keeping the bass in key. Um, as far as constructive feedback, one of the first things that I noticed was that you let your piano get real low, dum, 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 to the point that it gets this low wobbly kind of, it gets this real low wobbly sound. That, and it was like conflicting with the bass because you hit such a low note, you let the piano go low and the bass go low, so it sounds like either one of those things were too low or both of those things were too low, and they either way they both started fighting each other. So you want to watch that. Maybe you might have to push it an octave up. Maybe you need to rethink how low you want that note to go, because it felt like it was conflicting. Those two things were battling each other. Yes, and it caused the low bass wobble that I pointed out here. Also, there's a point where you added like a lead synth a little bit later in the beat, and that was dissonant. It conflicted with the rest of the melody. It just didn't flow well, and it didn't create a dissonance or a conflict in a way that was artistic. Sometimes we can create tension. We can do the wrong thing the right way, and it could feel good, but that didn't quite do that. One thing I want you to do, Trep World, is if you're able to get like a keyboard. I don't know if I mentioned this before. Get a keyboard. I have a keyboard right in front of me, right here. You guys can see this. Keyboard right in front of me. If you have a keyboard, Trep World, and I just want you to learn like just your C major, C minor, scale, E, F, G, B, and then your accidentals, the black notes. Just learning the different scales, it's going to help to tune your ear a little bit better. And on top of that, just learning just basic chord progressions. One real fun thing to do after you just learn your major, minor scales is to just learn like even like basic pop songs out there that you hear that are just like 4 chords or 3 chords, 4 chords. It's just fun. It's something real energizing about hearing a song on the radio, finding a YouTube tutorial, and then playing it on the keyboard. It's like, oh, that's how they put it together. And that's just something that's just going to help you later down the road. You're going to know how to deconstruct certain things and put them back together. And that's just going to help you be a stronger producer. Now, you don't have to become John Legend or Alicia Keys. That's not what we're saying. But if you could just learn some of the basics, that's just going to, once again, tune your ears. You can notice when things are conflicting with each other. You can notice when that lead is off. You can find those beats by or songs by the artists and producers that you like, and you can know how they put things together just by listening to it. So all it's going to do is make you stronger. Again, you don't have to become a concert pianist or anything like that. But I think training your ear on certain things is just going to make you a stronger producer and help you nail what you're trying to nail. But keep at it, keep grinding, keep cooking up beats, and I'll be glad to help you out on your musical journey right here on the Heat Check. All right. Oh, yeah? Oh, shout out to you. Shout out to you, Kwesi and Kwame. Shout out to you, Kwame. Kwame, if you're watching the show, shout out to you. Shout out to you. Thank you so much for watching the show. All right. Moving forward, we have Millie Beats with Stories. All right. I'm going to go ahead and play this beat, mute my mic, and give my feedback. So let's take a listen.
Goddamn, 'Damn, Millie, you bad. 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 'Damn, Mil
ladies and gentlemen, that was Millie Beats with Stories. Shout out to you, Millie Beats. Thank you so much for submitting this beat right here on the Heat Check. Now, Millie Beats, man, I am proud of you, man. Millie Beats, you have grown, you have refined your sound, you've gotten better and better over the months, man. It's been a ride, man. It's been like longer than 6 months. Your sound has gotten really polished, and from what I understand, again, I keep putting you on Front Street, but you're making these beats on FL Studio Mobile, which is crazy in itself. I never thought I'd see the day when we can make beats like this on mobile. I know iPad. I know people have been doing iPad, but on your little mobile device, that's something, Millie. That shows a lot of passion, and that shows that you have a real love for the craft. And make sure you check out my next Made in the Studio podcast episode, Millie Beats, with the producer. He's a producer and a musician. He gives a lot of good thoughts around, passion around music. I think you're gonna get a lot from that episode, Millie. But yeah, this beat, man, sounds polished. If someone told me that this was made on FL Studio Mobile, I would not believe them. You used multiple basses, which is something that I believe I pointed out on one of my recent tutorial videos. Yes, I did point out one of my recent tutorial videos. Having two bass styles is a real cool way to play with those low frequencies. You have one style and then another style of bass, and it has a real nice way of moving you. We sometimes predict just, the 808s, a sub bass, a live bass, a Moog bass, but when you kind of play with them, it's like a nice unexpected feel. So yeah, man, this one is really ready to go to an artist, I really feel like. One thing that I was hearing, this is just a creative thing I was hearing Millie Beats, was this part, you can add like a string. I'm just gonna hum the string note I was hearing. Like, yeah, you can just, hit those little string notes and be good to go. I think that's just kind of a good way to kind of help separate the hook from the rest of the verse and things like that. Yeah, just add that simple string, and I think that'll be good to go. So shout out to you, Millie Beats. Shout out to you, Millie Beats. Thank you so much for submitting right here on the Heat Check. All right. So, okay, shout out to you. Shout out to you. I'm not Dre Trust. Doing good. Thank you so much. Shout out to you coming from Twitch, man. Twitch is I did doing a live stream on Twitch as well. I'm not Drew, my bad. I can't. I'm not Drew. Oh, you playing with me, man. Shout out to you, man. I try to stream on Twitch every now and then. I'm mainly a YouTube show, so shout out to you. Thank you so much for checking me out on Twitch, man. I don't really have momentum on Twitch, so I'm growing on YouTube, so please, I'm not Drew. If you can get to YouTube at Desmond A Sounds, you get so much more information on what I got going on. Please check me out on YouTube, Desmond A Sounds. You can see it right there on your screen on Twitch, Desmond A Sounds, right there at the bottom left. Thank you so much. One thing I wanted to point out, guys, this VST right here, if you guys are able to invest in it, it's by Roland. Make sure you guys can see it. If you guys can invest in this, it's by Roland. It's called the SRX series. You get like some of the classic keyboards. So I believe this is the plugin series that the producer 30 Rock used on Roddy Ricch's The Box. Yes, he used the SRX series. So guys, if you can get these plugin series, they're really good, really fire, man. So, really good sounds on those plugins. So make sure you check them out. All right. Now, before we play the next beat, ladies and gentlemen, make sure you go to DesmondASounds.com where you can get free loops, free FL Studio plugins, free guides. I got guides on selling beats, using Pro Tools, mixing, check me out, DesmondASounds.com. You can get a lot of fire stuff to level up your music production career. And also make sure you check out the last Made in the Studio podcast episode with Daniel Cruz Hernandez from Producer Royalty. Very prominent here on social media for producers, giving us the game on the back end when it comes to publishing, masters, all types of clearances and things of that nature. So you guys check out Made in the Studio podcast here on my YouTube channel. And then you can check out the audio version on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, everywhere you can check out podcasts. Made in the Studio podcast. You cannot miss it. All right, moving forward, we're gonna got the second submission of the night from Millie Beats. This one is called Mental. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and play this beat, mute my mic, and give my feedback. So let's take a listen. Sorry about that, Millie Beats. Started from the middle, let's start from the top.
God damn, Millie, you're bad.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, that was the second submission of the night from Millie Beats. Shout out to you, Millie Beats, and thank you so much for submitting right here on the Heat Check. Now, Millie Beats, another good beat. A lot of your beats I can hear YG rapping on. Sometimes when I'm in the gym and I'm going through different music, I'll see YG and I'll just listen to it. I'm like, this is who Millie Beats. I know Millie Beats wants to produce for YG. Hey, you never know what might happen through this Heat Check show. Who knows what kind of connections could be made. So yeah, I was hearing like that type of YG West Coast, LA type of rapper on this beat. As far as constructive feedback, Millie, that piano sound that you had, it was good. And I think a rapper can definitely rap on that, but it did feel a bit basic. I felt like it can work. An artist can make something of it by actually writing a song to it, but it feels like I just want you to experiment a little bit more. Try to push yourself a little bit more. Try to go through some of your different sound patches that you have there in your DAW and see if there's anything else in there that could pull out a little more emotion, a little more energy. Maybe you might need to try to drop an effect on the piano just to make it a little more alive, because it just felt like dun dun and like it's like just right there on the grid, which once again can work sometimes, but I want you to push yourself a bit more. We've got you to a certain point. You've sold your first exclusive beat not too long ago, which I am super proud of, man. I cannot stop smiling about that. It's an amazing feeling selling your first exclusive beat. But we got to keep going. You can't, we got to keep pushing you up more and more, higher and higher levels as a producer. And you're getting there. So let's not get comfortable. Got to keep striving for more. So shout out to you, Millie Beats. Thank you so much for submitting right here on the Heat Check. All right. Okay, so we got what's going on, Drew in the chat. Yeah, Drew. If you can, Drew, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. Of course, a lot of value here. Also, try to get on my Discord. Because I make all my announcements on my YouTube community posts and also on my Discord. And what's going to happen is as soon as the stream ends, that's when we're going to open up the form for next Friday's show. If you want to do the VIP skip the line, you have the option in the chat. But of course, you can submit for next Friday's show. And I definitely want to check out your stuff, Drew. So, please subscribe. You'll see the YouTube community posts so you can submit for next Friday's show. So either way you want to do, but I don't want to miss your stuff, man. So make sure you subscribe. I'll make the announcement, and then you could submit. All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, we have Dancing Maine with Half. We haven't heard from Dancing Maine in a little bit. What you been doing, Dancing Maine? You been up there? Oh, I don't know where you at, man. You up there? I assume for some reason that you're in like Buffalo, New York. I have no idea why, but. Shout out to you, Dancing Maine. We're going to go ahead and play this beat by Dancing Maine. It is called Half. I'm going to go ahead and mute my mic and take a listen. Ladies and gentlemen, that was Dancing Maine with Half. Thank you so much for your submission this week, Dancing Maine. Music's definitely always appreciated here at the Heat Check. Now, Dancing Maine. So some people might not know why I said I assume Dancing Maine is from somewhere like Buffalo, New York, and that's because he originally started on the Heat Check with a lot of hardcore underground hip hop, real hard hitting type of beats, and then out the blue, man, he hit us with some R&B, and I was like, whoa, Dancing Maine, I didn't expect you to go from such a gritty, hard, just grimy type of production to be able to do R&B, and man, it blew my mind, because I was like, man, I just didn't know you could do both worlds. So shout out to you, Dancing Maine, for having multiple talents as a producer. Dancing Maine, one of the first things that I noticed about this beat is the volume of the intro and the volume like that, the "have fun, baby," that part, you have it loud. You have it as loud as when things actually drop. What we want to do is, it's good that you added that low pass filter, so I definitely want to shout you out for that. But you can do a lot of trickery with energy when it comes to contrast. So if we can get for you to lower the intro part more, and then when the actual beat hits, it's going to be more of an impact. So you have a low pass filter and a lower volume, and then we're going to hit the actual verse part. So then it boom, and we get hit with the actual music and all the drums. So let's lower that sample part, and I would say we could just lower it by. See, you really got it up there, so we can lower it by. Let's lower it by like 3.5 decibels. Let's lower it negative 3.5 decibels. That's really in a safe range. If you want to be a little more daring, you could possibly make it even quieter. I would say negative 3.5 decibels will probably be good in a nice safe zone. So if you do that, you're going to notice the difference when you listen. Dancing Main. Another thing that I noticed, Dancing Main, is with the drums, it's not, so you were able to take the tail off of the 808, so it's not just boom, 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 like I've heard in the past. So you did, in fact, let the tail of the 808 decay, boom, 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 which does create a nice little spacing and contrast. But I noticed with your drum pattern, it's kind of, let's allow the beat to breathe a little more, because the drum pattern is a little too active. When you have these type of R&B type of beats, we don't have to keep filling it up, because R&B singers, they're having a lead vocal, they possibly having harmonies, possibly having like little background runs going on. So we can have even more space than what you think is possible. So the drum pattern doesn't have to do, 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 do. It could just be do. So you see the difference? So we're having more space, more breathing room before the next kick and 808 hits, and that's nice little lanes and pockets for an R&B singer to really do their thing. You know, it's really, until you're in the actual studio, it's real fascinating to see how artists, especially R&B singers, have the lead vocal, then they stack those harmonies behind it, the higher pitch, lower pitch. You know, as music consumers, we kind of just listen to the final product, but it's cool to actually see the process, and that taught me how much space is needed. So shout out to you, Dancing Main. You're definitely on the right track. Keep going, keep cooking up this R&B, and please continue to submit right here on the Heat Check. All right. Moving forward, we have second submission of the night from Dancing Main. It's called From Time to Time. All right, I'm going to go ahead and play this beat, mute my mic, and give my feedback. So let's take a listen.
The way you move that body, you done got my heart all in it, and
Ladies and gentlemen, that was the second submission of the night from Dancing Maine. That one was called From Time to Time. So shout out to you, Dancing Maine. Thank you so much for submitting right here on the Heat Check. Now, Dancing Maine, with that beat, I'm actually hearing more of a hip hop song to a beat like that. So what I would actually do is speed the tempo up. So this could be a song from a rapper who's going to piggyback off of the words in the intro or the hook. Can you keep it real? So we're gonna push up the BPM. I want to say like 7 BPM. Just experiment a little bit. Just keep pulling up the BPM in your DAW. Then when you get to the point where you can kind of have a nice flow to the beat, you can go ahead and stop there. So what we can do is we can have a rapper. You're already handing the rapper the concept. So you could say, you could rename it like Keep It Real, spoon feed the artist the actual song. I've had multiple songs that artists just literally took the beat name and made it the song name. And that's always a compliment. I really enjoy that. That's why I always take the time to name my beats. So but yeah, if you can just give an artist a layup like that, especially a hip hop artist, man, they'll go crazy on it. So yeah, speed this up. We're gonna make this a hip hop song, and the artist is going to create a concept where they're just hitting the part where the drums hit with different verses, talking about keeping it real, probably keeping it real with their lady and all that kind of stuff. You're handing them the song concept. One thing that I noticed here, there's a thing with the chords. I don't know if you have the ability to do this. It's like the bass note change. So you made the 808 go down, doom doom, but the chord just kept going. Dun. So I wanted to hear. Dun. Hold on, let's play it again. I think it's right there. See, and then the bass move. So if you can change the chord to match the bass right there. Dun, dun. So have those, like that turnaround be fully completed. It sounds like you just held the chord. So yeah, if you can change that chord to match the bass, because it's kind of feeling like a little lopsided because my ears are expecting that chord to change. So if you can change that chord to match the bass, it sounds like you can. It sounds like you played that like some type of pad on your keyboard. So change that, move the chord, match the bass, you'll be good to go. And yeah, Dancing Maine, I hope you got my free Instagram beat selling guide as well. Like I said, you have a consistent sound. A lot of artists out there want producers who have this nice cohesive sound. So where if you send them a pack of beats, they're not just like some artists like to have a nice variety of stuff, but some artists are like, I want a producer to lock in with where I get a pack of 5 on a random Wednesday. I have a rough idea on what type of energy I'm gonna get, what kind of sound I'm gonna get. And Dancing Maine, you got the hip hop stuff and got the R&B hip hop fusion stuff. So download the free guide, get that free game, use it, connect with artists, and you never know what things could turn out to. If you watch my last Made in the Studio podcast with the attorney Daniel Cruz Hernandez, he breaks the game down on some of the back end stuff. So get stuff to somebody, the radio play happens, and they don't hit you up, go ahead and call my man Daniel Cruz Hernandez. He'll get you right, man. So yeah, just get out there, get your sound out there, lock in with the artist, and if momentum happens, you have protection. You have someone who can go out there and get things handled for you. You know what I'm saying? So shout out to you, Dancing Maine. Thank you so much for submitting right here on the Heat Check. All right, so ladies and gentlemen, just guys, if you want to book a one-on-one coaching session with me on Zoom, check out the link in the description. Check out the link in the chat. I can just go ahead and we could do a one-on-one call. You can open up your DAW so I can help save you time on what you can do to improve. So if you don't want to keep waiting, you want more hands-on, in-depth help on your production, guys, things are changing in the music game. AI is getting better and better. So you want to make sure you have your skills up in case you got to cook up a beat in the studio, or you meet the right person, meet the right artist. You want to already be prepared, and I can help you be prepared. So DesmondASounds.com/coaching. Hop on Zoom, check out your stuff, help you out, man. Give you that game so you can, have that fire beat, have them fire beats and whatnot. So ladies and gentlemen, that wraps up this week's show, man. Shout out to y'all. I'm so grateful for all the support for the podcast, all the support for my tutorial videos, all the support for the live stream, man. This thing is going and growing. So much activity. Sometimes it's hard to balance everything, but I try my best to give that game to y'all. Next Thursday, Made in the Studio podcast, 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, right here on my YouTube channel. We have new episode, producer AOB, musician, person who's given his life to music, man. And when you listen to that episode, you be like, whoa, this is all him. So you guys are gonna get a lot of good information, philosophy around music. So be on the lookout for that episode. All right, so guys, I am going to open the form shortly for next Friday's show. Be on the lookout for the YouTube community post, and I will see you guys next Friday, 9:30 Eastern Standard Time. You guys be safe out there. Don't party too hard. For you guys who are partying, be safe, drive safe, take your time. I want to see you in one piece. All right. So my name is Desmond A. I will see y'all next